Even though Blue Bloods has been around for years and is an absolute favorite, there's some things about the show that raises the eyebrows of even the most loyal fans. There's some scenes that don't make sense, are unnecessary, and even downright disturbing. In today's video, we'll look at some of the most hated scenes from the show, starting with a very weird family dinner. Family dinners aren't uncommon for the Reagans. Although the various members of the Reagan family often discuss their work experiences at the table, these dinners also offer the family a respite from the tenseness of their jobs in law enforcement. However, one episode features a dinner scene that might actually be the most tense moment of the entire episode. In Blue Bloods Season 6, Episode 3, Frank allows a reporter to go on a ride along with Danny and NYPD detective Maria Baez. Unfortunately, an encounter with a gun-toting criminal lands the reporter in the hospital with a grisly gunshot wound. When the Reagans later gather around the table for dinner, various family members exchange their individual perspectives on the matter. Of course, while the youngsters don't have much to say in the matter, as the saying goes, little pitchers have big ears, both Sean and Jack Reagan become interested in the implications of the incident. Unfortunately, one member of the family does not want to talk about it. There's something very wrong with the fact that every time this family sits down for dinner, we have to talk about crime and criminals, Linda Reagan pleads, just as Frank departs the room to take a phone call. Of course, it's certainly understandable why she would have such a reaction at this point in the series. Linda had been previously wounded in a separate shooting in Season 5, Episode 22. Although she survives the incident, it leaves her with a debilitating case of post-traumatic stress disorder. Sadly, the tense dinner scene is made even worse when Frank returns and announces that the reporter has been killed in yet another violent attack. This scene was extremely unnerving for a lot of the fans because they felt that the family was minimizing the trauma Linda went through. They felt that even if the scenes about the reporter were supposed to be part of the show, the producers could have at least done the dinner scene right. Then there's all the times Frank Reagan sighs. This isn't part of one specific scene. It's actually a part of many. While it may seem like a very minor thing, fans of the show are extremely annoyed by this. They believe that Frank is super dramatic. During the show, he often lets out a sigh, and this is quite annoying for some people who watch the show regularly. One Reddit user said, "There are copious amounts of heavy sighs in this show." Also, they tend to make Selleck's characters' lines overly dramatic, like they belong in a 30-second online ad for the show. Another fan of the show chimed in, saying all the scenes at the house are annoying, and they hate Tom Selleck's character. The range consists of a heavy sigh, grim expression, and talking in a somber tone is what makes them want to quit watching the show sometimes. Ouch, guys, relax. It's just a sigh. Then there's Eddie getting assaulted. One episode went a little too far when portraying a problem some female officers face from time to time. Guardian Angels showed Tommy Sims punching cops. Eddie Reagan and Officer Rachel Whitten were witnesses to this. Whitten and another officer wanted to fight back, but Eddie didn't think it was right and stopped it. Tommy was arrested, then released. He then attacked her when she was leaving work and getting into her car. Eddie got a nasty black eye and busted lip from the attack. The Reagans were shocked to see her face at dinner. They started arguing about the new bail laws, and she stopped them. "Sorry, Eddie," Frank said. "It's just that the collateral damage from our work doesn't often make a personal appearance at this table." Well, he's right. Fans were furious and disturbed by the scene. It was a pretty unnerving sight. Danny told his little brother that the attack wasn't his fault, but Jamie doesn't believe that since he's Eddie's supervisor and didn't handle it himself. But fans were happy with how her husband handled the situation in the end. He plays his cards strategically and then gets the man responsible for trouble with the gang he's a part of. So there's no violence involved and justice is served. But the punching scene really wasn't necessary, especially since Tommy had shown to assault almost every officer he came across. Yeah, that was highly disturbing. All the corny and forced scenes. As a police drama, fans are not expecting the show to be super funny, but there are some scenes that are supposed to be comic relief, except they're not. Some viewers thought the show tries too hard to be funny and interesting. Consequently, some scenes end up being a bit corny and unnecessary. Forced humor is usually part of the dinner scenes, another reason fans think the family should not gather over the table anymore. That's also when all the fights happen, so you can see why some fans are confused as to why this tradition even continues. Well, we're all about family love, but we guess we see where everyone is coming from? All the preachy scenes. This is one of the biggest concerns fans have about the show. Another viewer complaint was that Blue Bloods puts in too much effort to include an important message in the storyline. One Reddit user said that it was alright, but they dropped off after like 5 or 6 episodes. It was a little too preachy for them. They thought the emphasis on patriarchy was also a bit heavy-handed. Ratings have been declining among the 18 to 49 demographic, so we wonder if the drop in viewership worship will eventually lead to the end of the show. We can see why some viewers feel that way. Frank Reagan is an old family man, and his character is more in tune with the older generation than Gen Z. Some of his character traits are misogynistic and considered too traditional by today's norms. Tom Selleck's character would have worked with Magnum P.I., which is the show he was the protagonist for around 30 years ago. But Frank's character does not sit right with a lot of modern viewers. What do you think? Then there's the Catholic Church episode. Catholic advocacy organization, the Catholic League, once praised Blue Bloods as one of the few TV shows to treat Catholicism fairly. That's mainly because straight-laced Frank Reagan has been depicted as a devoted churchgoer. That all changed in 2014, when Catholic League president Bill Donahue claimed his organization had been bombarded with complaints because of an episode in which Frank said that the Catholic Church was a little behind the times regarding its positions on homosexuality. The episode also featured a cardinal struggling with his sexual identity, as well as an out lesbian nun. Donahue suggested that CBS was turning on its audience and that the network was committing a sin, with what he felt was an attack on Catholics. There were petitions online to cancel the show, but luckily for the cast and creators, it soon died, and they were pretty careful about criticizing the church afterwards. After all, some of the most prominent fans of the show are Catholics themselves, so we can't really wrap our heads around why they would even do something like that. But hey, we all make mistakes and learn from them, right? And finally, the one racist episode. While the Catholic League has claimed that the show exhibited a liberal bias when it came to the Catholic Church and the LGBT community, left-leaning pundits claimed a different bias, that a 2014 episode was excessively pro-cop or was even fascist cop propaganda. In the episode in question, Danny Reagan, Donnie Wahlberg, chases an African-American suspect who then jumps out of a third-story window. Danny is beset with cries of police brutality and even a conspiracy by African-American leaders to try and take him down for this, and past violent actions towards suspects. In a think piece for Slate, Laura Hudson wrote that while the Reagan family think of themselves as good people who believe deeply in the ideas of justice and equality, the privileged family exists within a system that is rigged to favor them and to erase the problems experienced by people who don't look like them. Of course, this episode did not sit right with the Black community, and some fans felt sick to their stomach, especially with the ongoing problems with the police force in the past few years. You'd think they would at least be a little more careful and sympathetic. Well, we hope they learn a lesson and do something about it. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the episodes? And are they controversial or not? Let us know in the comments below. Do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for similar videos. See you in the next one.